Actually, like usually it's cross sometimes like 38, 40
Okay, okay.
in
No,
daytime. Like air conditioning in office, like it's properly on 16 something, 16, 15, yeah, all the time.
okay, okay.
Mhm.
But damn, that's very very hot. Uh, because I
Yeah.
remember we were in Thailand because we had our company retreat in Thailand this year,
Mm-hmm.
and it was at 39, and even people from India who were like in our team. So we have a lot of people from Surat and Bangalore in our team,
Okay, yeah.
and even they were like, "Man, this is too hot." So, but then if you said 39 in the morning, probably normal for them now, so should be okay. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, the same as like in Jaipur as well. Like the temperature is not so same all the time.
Okay.
Like these days, the temperature is like it's playing.
Okay.
Like in the daytime, it also goes. Mm,
Hello, Lavina.
Hello, Yaamin. Hello, Ankush.
hi, Lavina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Yes, okay. Thank you.
I'm surprised I've never been to Jaipur. Because it's the
Really?
capital of Rajasthan, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, I've never been actually. I think the nearest I've been would probably be let me see. So I've been to some parts of I mean I've been to Ahmedabad, been to
Mm-hmm.
like Madhya Pradesh, like near that area. But
Oh,
I
MP.
haven't been to Delhi, no. So so I need
Seriously?
to go there. I need to go there. Yeah.
In Delhi?
I mean, at least nearby Jaipur, maybe near Delhi. I've been around Madhya Pradesh. One of my friends was staying there, so we went to see Nagpur. Actually, I've been there.
Oh, Nagpur is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's nice. It's really nice.
yeah, but because mostly for me meetings happen in Bangalore, so I used to go to. I always go to Bangalore.
Okay. Yeah, Bangalore is also nice city, but Bangalore is just like traffic more.
Yeah. Bangalore is more. It's just, I don't feel like Bangalore is. It doesn't reflect the culture anymore. So it's different. Yeah,
Proper IT hub.
yeah, proper IT hub. Yeah.
Yeah, proper. I I recently visit Bangalore first time for the first time when I'm in like Figma's event, Figma launch. So
For the one they had for Figma India.
yeah, 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 we have now
Yeah.
that is officially released. Yeah, that was also good experience. So just give me a moment. Okay, so let's start then. I guess they are joining slowly, slowly, and okay. So, like first of all, like thank you so much whoever is joining, and I'm Ankush Arora, UI UX designer and developer, like with around 7 years of experience, and I'm also leading Friends of Figma Jaipur, where we organize online and offline events and the creative sessions. And we are the official Friends of Figma chapter. Today's conversation is really interesting because the future of animation is moving towards systems, not just standalone animations. And LottieFiles, as an industry leader in micro animations, has been observing this trend closely. I am just here to explore this idea together with all of you folks and have an open conversation around motion system and the future of digital experiences. And yeah, so I guess we can start with you, Yamin.
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys. I think it's my second event with Friends of Figma Jaipur. So, hi again. So super excited to kind of do this talk. So this is something that I thought I mean. This might not probably be 2 hours long. Might be a little bit shorter than that. But I'm really excited to actually do this entire thing. Let me share my screen. So one thing that we're noticing as part of Lottie Files is that um, for my name's Yamin. I do senior partnerships at LottieFiles and part-time designer, part-time animator, part-time developer. But now mostly I talk about motion design. And one thing that we're noticing as part of LottieFiles is the switch from what our teams and enterprises are requesting, basically our users and customers are requesting, more towards how you can actually systemize it. Basically, if you think about design systems which started off with Figma, now imagine that shift is now coming to animations. And I just thought that would be very interesting to actually do a talk today with you guys and see what your guys' takes are. And again, feel free to like put in the chat if you have any questions or anything. I'm more than happy to answer. And this is a very, very fun subject that I'm probably going to do. And it's going to be a little bit more hands on. So, yeah, I'm going to make you guys animate as well, as always. So, let's actually have some fun. So, um, for LottieFiles, we're a motion design platform. We just recently crossed 16 million users. I think last time we met, we said we were at 14.5 million or 15 million, but now we just crossed 16 million users, 280,000 plus global brands, and we're actually just growing and growing, growing, just making sure that animation is easy. Kind of like if you think Canva is out there making design easier, we're actually out there trying to make animation easy for people to actually implement. And of course, what we're seeing is, of course, from all of these knowledge that we're getting from people like Zomato, Canva, CNN, Create, like who are actually using us, we're actually gathering that it's not about putting in animation anymore. It's not only now about making that file size smaller. It's now actually going into something a little bit more different. And from everything that we've gathered, we thought it'd be very interesting to like do a lot of these talks globally now to talk about the next thing in motion, which is of course how do you systemize motion and why is motion now becoming a modern day design language. So this is where it all starts. Every company, every user, every person we talk to, the biggest gaps that we're seeing today is this, and some of you probably might be familiar with this. If you want to use motion, this is where it all comes down to. Like, how do we get started as a team? What's the ROI? Is the cost important? It's hard to justify. And we've heard all of these problems. And what we notice is, based on all of these different things, is that motion today cannot just be something you use as just a playback animation. You might now not need to start thinking about what's the ROI, how do you actually incorporate into the design system, and how to actually you know scale the usage of motion, and how do you actually justify use of motion. And this is where actually systems of motion actually come in, and how do you actually systemize motion. So today, like every single company we talk to, they always say, yeah, we need functional motion. I mean, it can't be decorative anymore. It needs to justify why we're using it. It needs to have feedback. Of course, clarity, continuity should be there. But in addition to this, professionals today are actually systemizing animations. So the main question is this: like, how do professionals today systemize animations? And what we've learned from different tools that we're introducing each and every day is that they actually want to do two things. One is they want to decide exactly how your animation should react and behave. So for example, when you put it out somewhere, they want to know exactly how different things should behave, how different should react, how different things should behave based on interactions. And this is something that we've noticed that a lot of these companies really want. And the second thing we've noticed is every company out there now wants to decide which properties should change based on different inputs. So for example, it's something that we call motion tokens. For example, when you tokenize things, things should change based on different behaviors. So in a way, you are deciding how things should behave and what are the exact properties that should change based on different inputs. And this is what people are actually asking for today. So coming back to this, right? This is a Figma community, right? The good news is that you already are doing this with design systems. It's just that you're not actually adding things as well motion tokens or as how different should behave. So if you think about state machines, which I just showed you just now, every Figma render you are creating today is of course a state. and you are actually technically still building motion state machines this whole time. It's just that the rule book is a little bit different. Now, if you give me an example, like if I give you an example in your Figma components, you probably would be familiar with this. If for a button, for example, you would have a default state, a hover state, a press state, and then of course you might have a disable state, which is of course, if you look at it, one state, two state, three state, four state, and you're kind of converting that into what we call state machines when we come down to like designing for motion. So on the left side, you see what you probably would do on Figma, and on the right, you would see how it behaves on Lottie files. So on a Lottie file will be a single timeline, and you will decide on exactly which part of the animation is which state. And so what this also does is you can also add causes to each transition. For example, on hover, something happens. On loading, let's say for example, when you click after a hover, it goes to loading. And then if there's an API 200, your success, maybe an API error, let's go to an error state. So in practice, you're technically going to be transitioning from a design system now into, of course, everybody wants motion, but how justify motion? This is how people are using it to justify motion. Defining how the entire thing behaves and what the behavior itself can impact your product, and then bringing it into your product and justifying what is the ROI in terms of that and what it actually brings changes to your product. So the one last thing that we have, of course, I already mentioned it as tokens. So you already have these as well. You already define variables. You already have systems, color codes, and everything. And now we're actually building in all of these things in so that you not only have a way to actually systemize the way it behaves, now you also have a way you can systemize different properties. And today, what we're actually going to do is going to be really feel fun. I'm actually going to work with you guys to actually build a systemized animation so that after you go back to your maybe work on Monday, or maybe if you're a student go back to your class on Monday, you have an idea of actually creating a systemized animation, what's the benefits are. So this is what systems could actually do with you. You can build some really cool stuff. I'll share a bit more links as well, you guys can try out later. And yeah, today we're going to do step one of building motion as a system. So we're going to be focusing on just on systemizing. And yeah, let's actually get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you guys again back to Figma, because you guys are a Figma community. I'm going to paste the link in the chat. Let me know if you're not able to actually access the link. Yeah. If you just want watch the recording, let me know. If you are just here like have fun with me, let me know. So I'll introduce you a couple of stuff we just recently introduced for Figma, and then I'll deep dive into how you can actually systemize the entire thing. Let me know if you're not able to access it. I see we have, oh, sorry. Currently have 4 people. Okay, accessible. All right, cool. So I think last time we had a session on state machines. And the biggest comment we got when we were actually working with a lot of people was that, well, for a UI UX designer, state machine is hard. And we asked why, and they said, well, it doesn't speak our language. So we thought, okay, look, let us go back, let us talk to you guys, and then let's actually figure out a way. Let's talk to our tech teams and see how we can actually convert it into a, convert prototypes into a state machine. So now today you can actually do is this. So if you want to join in, feel free. If you open our plugin, so I already have made this prototype. It actually goes from here to here. I added some click segments. So what you can actually do now today is if you go to prototype flow. So I already made this. If you want to try it out, you can go to this button here. And you actually now can create state machine animations right on Figma as well. So when you click it, there you go. And then you can actually export it out as an animation you can use with state machines, and it's already coded and everything, so you can actually now do that as well. Now, before, like, I know you guys are going to be interested not only just to see it, let's actually try it out as well. Let's actually build your first state machine animation on Figma, and then we'll move on to systems a little bit later. So yeah, if you guys are ready, feel free to come in. You can actually just make a frame. Let me actually change the color here a little bit. Again, feel free to come in. You can grab all these shapes up here. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to actually create a simple state machine so that you guys are a little bit aware of what we actually have right now. So I'm just going to grab these shapes in. I'm just going to paste it in. Let me also put this here so that we have a nice little glow. Add a bit of cloud. Wow, I see a couple of people already tying out. All right, cool, cool. And then of course, copy this frame. Add that in. Move this to this side. Move the clouds to the left side. Change the color. There we go. Then change the sun color, something else. Change the glow color as well, maybe a little bit of a white. So now you're kind of creating these scenes, right? And then if you want to make a state machine, now previously we used to ask you guys to go from frame to frame. And then, like if you click on the frame, something should happen. So, but now what you can actually do is instead of this, click the area you want to click, drag it all the way in, click, connect to the next frame, and then add maybe like how you do prototypes. Add that in, connect it back, add maybe a spool starting point, and that's it. Now making state machines is actually as easy as that. So all you gotta do is just connect it, and then there you go. So state machine actually done. So now just give a bit of an idea. If you want to create state machines now, it's actually as easy as this. Feel free to again go through all the stuff on the board. Since everybody is actually trying it out, I started to show the demo. So creating state machines is not that easy. So this is just the basic fundamentals now. So if you are systemizing with your design systems, you can actually now create a state machine using our Figma tool. But of course, this is not what we're here to talk about today. The thing I want to show you guys is how you can systemize how you can create an animation. So what we're going to build today together is this systemized animation, which actually has color codes, which also has a way it actually reacts based on different interactions. And we're going to build this step by step. So yeah, let's have some fun. So first thing first, so I already made this. Like, let's say you are a UI UX designer, you already made something pretty awesome. Let's actually go back. So I already made an animation here, which is called box. And as you can see, I've kind of storyboarded the entire thing as well. This is my first instance. I want to show this to my motion designers. This is my first instance. Second instance, I want something to fall in, and then this is the box close. No, sorry, not box open. This box close. All right. Oops, somebody already copied this, but anyways, it's fine. All right. Cool. All right. So, we already have this done as an animation. Now, as a product designer, of course, I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna make my prototype. Now the cool thing is, of course, I can just take this and I can actually send it to Lottie Creator, either as a state machine or not as a state machine. But in this case today, since I'm going to take it step by step, I'm going to take the animation not as a state machine, but as a normal playback animation. And I'm going to start adding stuff in using Lottie Creator. So if you are following me step by step, let's go here, go to prototype flow, click box, add the animation here, and then click this button in the top, yeah, top here. And you're going to actually open the animation on Lottie Creator, which is here. All right. So we already added a couple of things on Lottie Creator to actually systemize animation. Now we talked about how things should react. We already talked about how things should have properties that should be editable. So now let's actually look at a little bit into what Lottie Creator has offered today. So we are still not fully released. We did one 1.0 release already, but we are going to be doing a 2.0 release pretty soon. But yeah, going to a couple of stuff it would be really helpful to actually systemize if you are following me right now. So first thing first, like let's say you already defined on this animation how things should move. Like let's say this transition here. Let's say you already defined it should be, let's say, a ease in of 200. Now let's say you want to give that to your motion designer. What you can actually do is, so it actually picks up the differences in frame by frame. What I can actually do is I can copy this, go to this button called motion presets, and I can actually add that as a custom preset, and I can actually share with my team. So that if, let's say, you as a product designer, you created this transition and you want to systemize the entire thing, I can give this to everybody in my team, and they can actually reuse it across all of their products. So that and let's say even I create a bouncing ball in this instance, I can define the transition and it can actually be used everywhere. So all I gotta do is just click the keyframes and then just press add here. And there you go. So now that becomes a part of my transition, and I can keep using it over and over again in multiple products. Now, before that, let's also check out some other tools that we have. So we recently introduced the pen tool. With the pen tool, of course, you can actually now do a lot more things. So before we actually again go into systems, that actually show you guys one more very cool thing. If you guys want to try out, we recently introduced, I think just a couple of months back, we introduced something called a physics simulator. Now, in the storyboard, if you go back, you can see that we have a phase where the box opens, and then if you go back here, you can see I want to add maybe like a toy folding into the box itself. So what I can actually do now is with Lottie Creator, I can go and click this button called Pen Tool, and I can actually start adding in an area. Same as how you have it on Figma. Let's actually add an area where something can fall. All right, there we go. So I'm going to make some upside down trousers here. And we're going to skip that here. So another cool thing, if you're looking at systemizing, is that if you look at Figma here, let's say I want to use this toy in my animation. And let's say I'm done with it. I hand over the file to my motion designer. Now, what the motion designer now can actually do if you're using LottieFiles is you can just click right click, copy paste, copy as SVG, done. And then what I can actually do is just go here and I can just click paste. And now it actually would copy the thing that I need from Figma and it would actually take you directly into Lottie Creator. Now, I want to create like 5 gingerbread men actually falling into the box. So let me just make it a little bit small. And so we also have one more tool here if you want to go through. So we have a couple of tools here like get started, uploading assets, motion tokens, and different other things. I'm not going to click this tool called the duplicator tool. So duplicator is a very cool thing which you can actually use to copy an animation and make multiples of it. So I'm just going to go through. If you go through here, there is linear, grid, circular, spiral. If you click it, it'll make a couple of these stuff. I'll just use this. It looks like a very interesting option. Maybe let's just use this. Yeah, let's just use this one. Copy of maybe 4. All right, there you go. So we want like 5 gingerbread men falling into the box. We also add a couple of rotation, maybe. There we go. And then I'm gonna click apply. Now, of course, still not falling. So let me just put it up here. And then let me make this into a scene. So if I do this slowly, it's I just selected everything and then right click, create scene. So like I said, one of the very strong tools that we currently have is something called the physics simulator. So what you can actually do is you can click the physics simulator here. And then now you can actually play with Newton physics. So how it actually works is, let's say I'm going to remove this edge boundary here, and I click preview. It's actually going to make an animation of things falling down by gravity. So if you are, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this trouser here. I'm going to click this lock because I want it to stay in one place because that's going to be the masking area. And then now I'm going to click preview here. And there's actually my gingerbread man falling. Once I'm done, I'm currently not really happy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add maybe 2 grams of it falling, and then maybe add a bit of a bounce to everything. There we go. Maybe add not this a bounce of a 0 preview. There we go. That's pretty nice. Insert. And then what it's gonna do is it's gonna recreate an entire sequence of things falling down with physics, so that you don't actually have to. If I press play here, there we go. So that you don't actually have to do it frame by frame, and you can actually just immediately create this, and that's actually done. So now let's actually go back and add this. So I'm gonna delete this. Go back, and as you can see, gingerbread man actually falling into the box. But of course, it's outside the box. Let's actually fix that. Let's actually draw here. Similar to masking, let's actually just draw this here. Add this in. Remove the outline. Go to the scene. Click this thing called matte. And click path 59. And once I'm done, let's move this a little bit here. So now I have the gingerbread man folding in and the box closes. Yes, I believe this meeting is being recorded, Richika. So yeah, and don't worry, if you have more questions, I'll share a couple of links. You can come and have a chat with me as well if you run into any problems. And I'll share these links after the call as well. So yeah, now we kind of have this entire thing done. We have the gingerbread man falling down. You can make further edits if you want to, change the color and everything. So now let's actually start systemizing the animation. So first thing first, if you go back to this, the first thing is, of course, how do I define the states? And on Lottie files, the best way to define it is this thing called segments. So if I go back here, there's something called segment here. I can click segments and I can actually now start adding segments. Now, based on, oh, let me fix the time here as well. Maybe 5:30. So based on the design that I've done on Figma, I know that there are certain parts of the animation where I need to kind of define. So I know I want to have like a box close state here. Oh, I think somebody already made an animation on top. But anyway, so I know I want to have box, like close state here as a box open state, and then something's gonna fall in, and then it should go back to the close state. Now the cool thing with Figma is that if I already made it and I made the animation on Figma, it will already give me the keyframes I need to actually define my states. So if I've for example, if I've already done it with segments, it will already have created the segments. But since I'm deselected the segments, I'm just gonna go back here and I'm gonna make the segments here itself. So this is the first one. So I want to have like this idle segment, which is probably here, 36. There we go. And let me call this idle. And then from here, as you can see, keyframes, pretty important. I can just click it, 76 from 36. And then we actually call this open. Simple, maybe open. This is idle. And then from here to here, make it a little bit short. All right, 134. 134. Let me call this add. And then from 256 to 296. Let's close this close. So now we've done the first step in terms of like defining how it should interact. You define what's an idle state. You define what's an open state. You define what's the add state, and then you define what is a close state. Now, one more thing, I want to use this as a loader. So I'm going to add a text here as well, which is loading. And this would come in handy a little bit later. I'm going to explain a little bit later why. And let me just center this. There we go. I'm going to put that in here. All right. So now we have a idle state, open state, add state, and close state. Now let's actually go and systemize this entire thing. So I think previously we talked about a little bit on state machines, but let's just very quickly kind of connect everything and make a state. So state machine is of course defining how the animation should react based on different things, different inputs. In this case, let's just very quickly rig it up. So I want to have an idle state which is the initial state, like where anytime people see this box, I want to be unless they interact with the box, I just want it to like keep shaking. And then I'm going to go to an open state, and then I want it to add the gingerbread man, and then I want it to go to the close. So after adding the states, of course, I can add the inputs. In this case, to make it easier, let's just add a event, which is open. One more event, which is add. One more event, which is close. And then a last event, which is idle. So that's actually start connected. So I want on idle, when I click, I want to go to open. I'm disconnect it first. Now click the line here. Add a condition, which is open. connect this to add, click this line, add a condition which is add, connect this to close, add a condition which is close, and the last one is going back to idle. Just add a condition which is idle. So I just want to define one interaction, which is when this loading screen comes, I just want to add a click where I can, well, while like let's say the screen is there, while my customers are like waiting for, like after they add stuff to cart, while they're waiting for delivery, all the thing I want is a screen where it's loading, and then I just want to click on the box and something falls in. So what I'm gonna do now is, of course, define the interactions. So I'm just gonna have one which is on click on, let's say, the box packaging. I wanted to fire an event called open. So now box opens every time I actually click it because your interaction is now already set up. And again, if you're like working on Figma and bringing it back in, this would already be defined for you. But in this case, I just want to show you guys a little bit on the manual side of this as well. So it's easier for you to kind of grasp the entire thing. So I'm going to do one more stuff here, which is on complete. I wanted to fire an event called add. So instead of like me doing in every interactions now, I'm just going to add a state where once this state is done playing, it's going to play an event called add. And then in order to do that, you can actually go click the state itself and just click this thing called on complete action and then just add. And then here on add, I'm going to add one more, which is close, so that this input is met. And the last thing is once close is done, I want it to play idle. So now what's going to happen is every time, click it, the brand man falls in, goes back, falls in, and goes back. First step is done. Very cool. And again, this might be a little bit long, so I will share you guys a couple of things after I'm done, so you guys could check it out. Like I've got other stuff as well. So now you have kind of defined how your entire animation should react. You have a click interaction, and then the event brand falls in and then goes back to this idle spot. Now imagine this as a loading screen where every time like your customer is waiting, you can actually just click the link, click the box, and then there's something to interact so that he actually stays on the screen and actually uses it. So now you actually have that kind of defined with state machines. Now that's actually coming back here. And let's actually start defining what would be properties you want to, maybe you want to change. If they say you're building this animation for scale. Now, we have this entire thing. And one very cool feature that we introduced just a couple of months ago is something called motion tokens. So like I said in the presentation, motion tokens is similar to what you guys have on Figma as variables, which you can actually connect on the animation, and you can use it to define what should be changed and what could be changed so that you can actually build an animation for scale. What I mean by animation for scale is, for example, we work a lot with Google, and Google has over 100 buttons across their entire website, more than 100 buttons. Now imagine if you had to change every one of them one by one, which would be a massive, 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 probably time and effort to actually do that. So what we built is something that could actually help to change that, which is very simple. Let me show you. So now imagine that there is a new holiday coming. Let's say Chinese New Year is coming up. And it, like imagine like your motion designer, you wrote your motion designer, you're like, I need you to just change the color of the animation. And imagine asking him to change it every single time. Now, instead of that, what you can actually do is you can actually define tokens inside the animation and actually just change it yourself. So in this case, let's say here, I can just click areas that I want to be changed. I can go to the right. As you can see now, if you are using Lottie Creator, there is actually a small arrow here. I can click and I can now actually apply a token. So let me just very quickly apply a token here. So I can just go here, click apply token. It would open this box. Just click create new tokens if there's no token available. And let me just actually add. Maybe I'll call this box outer right and save. So now what this would actually do is you are actually creating properties that could be changed in real time. And on runtime, what would actually happen is these colors would keep changing. And you can actually build animations which would, which your developer can actually look into. And then these could actually be changed based on different interactions, different times, so that you're actually building animation for scale. Now, let me actually do a little bit more. So I'm going to click this now, add a token here as well. Let's call this box outer left. There you go. And then I'll call this top. Maybe, I don't know, box outside flap. If you're wondering why the naming condition, it doesn't matter. You don't need to necessarily name like this. It's my dev side in me, which really, really wants me to kind of name it this way. But yeah. So now that I've kind of defined these three, let me also define this packaging side. I'll just add one and call this packaging. So if I have similar there, what I can actually do is I can just click this and then go to apply token and just click here. So that similar layers could actually have similar tokens applied to that there. Let me just call this outside flap as well. Once the box opens, yeah, let me also define this. Let me call this box box flap inside. All right. And let me apply this to this. All right. So now what we would actually see is if I go to tokens, I can actually go here and keep adding multiple themes. Now, for example, here, let's say I want the packaging to be a different color. Oh, sorry, give me a sec. Choose a theme. I can actually now create multiple colored themes of different animations. For example, let's say Christmas is coming up and you need to make a Christmas animation. I don't necessarily need to give my dev multiple files, which will make the app really, really heavy. What I can actually do is I can just define these and actually send to my dev and say, hey, just rename this. Oh, sorry. Let's delete this. All right, let me just rename this as Christmas. We give that a little bit of red color. Yeah, there we go. So I can just give these two and say, hey, dev, during the normal times, you got to use this. In the Christmas time, you got to actually use this. Let me actually define this as well. So this would actually be box outer right and box outer left. So what would keep happening is you don't need to now necessarily create a lot of different things. You can actually just define all this, and this would actually be helpful for you to kind of take it to the next level. You don't need to necessarily make an animation one by one. Just give all these, just define everything. And this could actually be used to create those animations, which you just necessarily just need to change a few things. Not necessarily need a lot of stuff. Just make one animation and then you can just give to everybody. Another cool thing that we also introduced in addition to color is also that you can also do it for fonts as well. Now, let's say for a default could be loading, right? And then you can add maybe a motion token. And let's actually call this, that would be a fun name. I'll call it loading text. Loading underscore text. So now let's say during the normal, delivery hours or delivery thing, you would just put it as loading. And then let's say during Christmas, you want to have a new name, which could be Happy Moments Loading. So now what would actually happen is every time this is there, you would have loading. And here you would actually have Happy Moments loading. And the other cool thing is, since this is already defined, you can also change the text in real time as well. You can just ask the dev, let's say, hey, I have these things. I just give the dev the color codes. The dev can also change your box as well. And what this actually does is in real time, the text can be changed. Just give you an example here. Let's say during Christmas, the marketing team comes in and they don't want to call it a happy holiday spirits loading. Let's say they just want to say Santa is coming. And you don't necessarily need to do that. And one more thing, if you already define it as a text, and if you keep like let's say different, say scale in, scale out for this, that would also be reflected across all of your animations as well. Let's say here I have a scale in, go back, scale out, and let's say you want to go back to the default loading, it will still have that animation there. And the only thing that would change is the property that you want to change, which is of course the text font. Now, this is not only something you can actually use to create themes. What you can also do with this is a little bit more than just having all of this. So if we have a bit of an example, with motion token, let's say we have other stuff as well, where you can also set up position tokens. You can also set up skew tokens. What would this actually do is allow you to actually create stuff like Fox 3D. Let me open up a couple of other stuff. All right, there we go. You can even build games now. Say you want to have like Jupiter, Saturn. You can actually build games as well. And the other thing is, of course, there we go. Let's say you want to have level up badges. You can actually do this as well. And you can even do like follow-ups, follows, many other cool stuff as well, which kind of allows you, once you kind of systemize it and you work with your dev, the dev already knows the language. You already defined it for the dev, and you'll be able to build, say, better UIs. What I showed just now, even build, let's say, your own Need for Speed drive and stuff as well. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much on systemizing. So you're kind of taking everything back. You systemized the way the animation should behave. You systemize how the animation, what are the properties that the system should actually change. And now you've kind of come to a place where you have a animation which you define how it should behave. And then now you have animation where you can actually define what should change with the animation. So as a step one, you've created something, systemize it, and now you're actually ready for production, which is now ready for scale. Now, that's pretty much for the demo. What I want to leave you guys with is now what we're allowing and what we learn is that it's now becoming a shared language between designers and developers. You define states, you define transitions, you define inputs, you define interactions, you define properties. And if you want to learn how to become and kind of use all these tools, one thing that we have started is we do now have a certification course for our Lottie creator. Let me actually share in the chat, which would actually take you through all of this taught right just now, from interactions, how you can actually bind animations to real-time data, how you can actually systemize animation, and of course, handing off the animation as an interactive Lottie. So I already put in the chat. What I showed you just now might be a little bit more, but if you want to take it face by face, this will be the place that you can actually go. So just to summarize, three things to actually just take forward. Today, motion is functional. It doesn't give feedback. you need to now add clarity, create continuity. You need to kind of systemize it. It doesn't just belong in your product, it belongs in so many places. Now start thinking in states, not in screens. Think properties, think things you can actually change. Components are in design. Think of it that way for animation. Think of motion as a shared language. It's something that you can actually talk to developers without losing meaning. It's also something you can use to talk to users without actually losing meaning. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it's a little bit more, but yeah, if you have any questions, feedback, or anything you want to keep building, any questions, I'm ready for questions now. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff. For the code pens, if you want to try it out, you can actually go here. This is for the planet one. This is actually my space adventure one. If you want to try it out, battery UI is way here. If you want to try out the tutorial I just showed just now, and if you want to, change the code, you can actually use this code pen here. And one last thing is, if you want to, let me give you one more thing. If you're interested to wipe code these things, like if you have your own MCP, you want to wipe code this, you can actually go to this thing called, which I'm sharing right now. Let's say motion designer site code. You can actually use this to feed your MCP and actually build something cool like this. And yeah, that's it, Ankush. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
so many stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. So, all right, I guess, yeah, that brings us to the end of today's session. Yeah, okay. So, thank you so much, Yaamin. Like, you have shared so much insights, and thank you so much for these amazing insights and the animations. And thank you
yeah,
for those URLs, like you are using Figma, LottieFiles tool, and along with the creators course as well.
yeah. Creator course is free.
Great.
If you run into troubles, please just use
Yeah,
it.
yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure. I
and
will I will share that in the community group as well. Like,
yeah,
so everyone can do that. It was a super insightful and to explore like how animations can become part of modern design system. So that is a seriously amazing. Like, yeah.
yeah,
And honestly, if you like ever want, like everyone, thank you so much for joining. And honestly, like if everyone any kind of questions or any kind of queries you have, like you can ask in the chat, or if you are watching the after the video or the recording, so you can ask us in the DM as well. Like you can directly DM to Yamin, you can directly DM to me, or any FF member, so we can like convey that to Yamin. So yeah, I guess everything is fine, and you can follow us on our social handles for Friends of Figma Jaipur and Yamin and LottieFiles as well. Thank you so much, LottieFiles, to collaborate with again with us. And yes, thank you so much, Yamin, for for coming, and everyone for joining. Have an amazing weekend, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. No worries. Thank you guys for listening in. Again, if you wanna find me, just share this link. It's a lot to take in 1 2 hours, so I just thought it would be great just to show you guys what you can actually do with it. But yeah, just follow this link I just put in the chat. You can start doing your own course. Yeah, hopefully you guys get certified as well. I'm the one who will be certifying, so hopefully you guys could submit something that would rock my mind off. So yeah.
And yeah, my team is also here. So Khanak is there, Pooja, Lavina, and the other members are not there because of their traveling, and some are in the office right now. So that's why. And yeah, I will share all the URLs in the group and as well as in the chat as well. Like so everyone can access that. Thank you so much, Yamin. Thank you so much,
All right. See you
everyone.
guys.
Thank you so much, my team. And yeah, have a great weekend. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.